guys, and welcome back to Mukbang Mondays! Yay! If you came from TikTok, you're real for that. If you came from Instagram, I'm surprised but impressed. If you're just like here because you're a subscriber, what do we say to the subscribers, babe?
Hi.
You're the best ones! That's what we say. You guys are the best ones. Want to tell them what we're eating today?
We're eating chicken scratch, one of my personal favorites. They have delicious fried chicken and wings and fries and mac and cheese, and that's all you really need to get to a man's heart.
Really, anything that's like gonna give you a heart attack if you ate it for all your meals, they have perfected. It's so good.
Like, this is crazy.
I got mac and cheese with buffalo chicken on it and french fries under it. What did you get?
I got the honey hot wings drenched. That's like one of the options. Like, they have different amounts of like seasoning, and like the go-to for me is drenched, because I feel like that's exactly what I want.
Yeah.
I want an overload of the senses.
Yes. These are just truffle fries, but they're so good. What is this dip?
Some sort of ranch.
I like it.
I think I'm
Chipotle
supposed
ranch?
to dump that on my...
But yeah, whenever we order like out on impulse, this is usually what it is.
It cannot be an everyday though. It is
Don't do that.
not meant for every day.
You won't make it.
Yeah, you won't. You won't.
You won't make it.
This is a special treat. Specifically after the game. I expended some calories, so I'm good. I'm covered.
Like
for this
each
one.
of these is like 2,500 calories or something like insane. I don't even calorie count. I'm not trying to like act like that, but it is truly just everything. If you're
for this
lactose
one.
intolerant, you might fly.
You might explode.
You might fly. Just shoot yourself into the sky.
You bitch.
I'm crying. I have a tear. Oh my god. So Kylan won his game yesterday.
Fun time.
Woo! You gotta get in the shot, then stop looking away.
I was playing with this.
Yeah, get at.
Fun to play with
Get
the
like a
sound.
foot this way. You know how hard it is to center when I'm editing?
I'm centered.
There you go.
I'm centered?
You're centered.
I'm centered. What are we talking about?
The Kennedys.
Oh, okay.
Why'd you lose all your energy?
I feel like it would be weird if I kept all my energy.
That's what we're talking about.
What are we talking about today?
The Kennedys.
Woo! Kennedys!
What are we talking about today?
The Kennedys.
What? Bootleggers? Yes. Rich people? Yes. The Great Gatsby is inspired by them? Yes. Cursed? Probably. Kennedys.
Oh, the cartoon show.
What? No. The people.
What?
The family that's a unofficial American royalty. The aristocrats who keep dying in weird ways.
Why?
One was the president.
I remember that one. That's why I lost my enthusiasm, because I was like,
He was a good president.
I just saw in my...
Very popular.
Because, you know, I'm a visualizer. I heard Kennedy's and I just saw his head
The assassination? You just went right to the assassination.
I just saw like a...
Oh my god.
It's because I had like a juicy piece of chicken.
You know his wife used to chew on metal. She did. She did. She used to eat pennies and tinfoil.
If I ever caught you eating metal...
What do you even do?
I have like an image of you as like a billy goat just chewing on like aluminum, just like canned food. Just
Glad to try these fries. I get her kind of after that. Other than the assassination, what do you know about the Kennedys?
A lot of them perish, and a lot of them are hot, I think.
I don't know if they're all hot.
Well, I think, isn't that what everyone's like? They're the perfect family because they're like, all important.
Well, Jackie's a little, but JFK and JFK Jr. are smoke shows.
Oh, I'm saying.
Yeah. What I think is also some fun facts about them before I get into our main story. Taylor Swift dated one for a while. When I think of tier systems, Taylor Swift is definitely above a Kennedy.
She's affecting the economy with her music.
That's true.
And football. Appreciate the Swifties.
And football. The separation. And football.
The ball of foot.
JFK Jr., though, brief aside, people thought he was like a hottie and they thought he was going to be another politician. And then he like never really entered politics. But he did start a super trendy magazine and it really affected the culture. And he did a lot of really cool cover shoots and stuff. And then he married this one girl who was like super private, but she was also really pretty. And she was kind of like an it girl. She had like the clean girl aesthetic. ITGIRL. You know I am that girl. Him and his trendy wife, like they were both just trendsetters, but then they would argue in public and stuff.
Messy.
And so, I know, tea. And then like paparazzi would take pictures of them like fighting in the park. And then she would be like crying and he would be like, no.
Oh.
And she would like crying and he'd be like, no. And then they would be like, oh, together. And then they would make up and be like, ah. And then they would go on like a cool date. Love that for them. So real. Wow. So authentic. But cool. Then they died in a plane crash with their sister.
Why did you? Jesus Christ. Very heartbreaking stuff. That's
really
bad.
sad. Kim Kardashian recently said that he was her celebrity crush. And a lot of people were like, whoa, that's crazy. He looks a lot like her dad. Slander. How dare you? He does not. He just has the same 80s hair as Robert Kardashian, and they both wore suits because they were professionals. They look nothing alike. I will do it side by side.
They're both men.
Oh no. Anyway, the Kennedy family did a lot of great and influential things and like faced a lot of tragedies, but they also did some terrible shit as well. And that's why some people.
Like how bad?
Pretty bad. Should I keep the bourbon? Pretty bad. Some people think that the Kennedy curse.
Don't be embarrassed by your body, babe.
Okay. Some people think that the Kennedy curse
is a beautiful machine.
Thank you. Some people think that the Kennedy curse is just Kennedy karma.
So what did he do?
It's not just one he. It's several generations of he's.
Oh. So it's like a family. Like the kids, they don't even have to do anything. They're just already.
I guess. Maybe they are doing things and we just don't know.
That's really tough, man.
The first Kennedy, who was notable, he was a bootlegger. So he did like, remember in The Great Gatsby, how Jay Gatsby is like rich and everyone's like, where did all his insane wealth come from?
Illegal stuff.
Yeah. Face to the bootlegging. See? To the bootlegging enterprise of New York. So he made a ton of money doing that. Then they legitimized themselves by becoming a political family. Enter JFK. You think he did something?
What did he do?
No, I'm asking you.
I don't know. You said it, so I was like, JFK did something bad? I thought he's pretty cool.
Well,
I just remember he got blasted.
Yeah. Well, he cheated on his wife a lot. That's one thing.
JFK?
Yeah. He had like a long-standing affair with Marilyn Monroe.
Ah, that's what that's about in the tunnels?
He also cheated on people, or cheated on her with a ton of people all the time, allegedly. And he had this guy best friend. Some people think JFK may have been a bi-icon.
I was like, that's a...
He had a homie who he would take with him everywhere, and they would have slumber parties sometimes, and they both lived in the White House.
Bro.
Could just be a vibe,
just a vibe, man.
Could just be a vibe.
Relax.
Could be more.
Relax, people.
Could be less. It's hard to know. But there is one story. Don't know if this is true or not. It's alleged. One girl went to the White House to hook up with JFK, and really, his friend, who people thought might have been his boyfriend, and his brother were all chilling around like some pool. I don't know if the White House has a pool or if this was like they changed locations. The story goes that this one girl had to give head to all three of them, back to back to back. And JFK was like, now do him. Now do my homie.
That's a crazy story.
I know.
Wow. That's like power. That's power, man.
I mean, there's probably broke dudes doing that too.
I ain't got it like that. Yeah, cut that. Please.
No. We're not talking about them today, though, directly. JFK is a peripheral character in this story, but he does affect the events a lot. Who we're really going to be talking about today is Rosemary Kennedy, JFK's sister.
I know what it is. We had to bleep it out because I knew it.
He knew it. He knows where it's going. So Rosemary, early life, really tough. Tough always, basically, for Rosemary. She experienced a lot of tragedy. A lot of people say that she is somebody who experienced the Kennedy curse. Because Rosemary, she was born during an influenza outbreak.
Not great.
Yeah. So her mom, when she went to the hospital, she was instructed to hold the baby in, basically. Yeah. For 2 hours, despite the fact that she was naturally going into labor. And so by the time that Rosemary was born, she had limited oxygen. And so it caused some developmental delays. When she was a toddler, they started noticing it, which is pretty common for people who don't have enough access to oxygen. By the time that she was a teenager, she started really acting out. She would have these episodes of like extreme aggressive behavior where she would just be really, really intense and she'd be freaking out. She had like a hard time getting along with others consistently. When she wasn't having those episodes though, she was apparently really a sharp wit, super fun, very charismatic, classic Kennedy, basically. So it was like a really sad situation. And she was beautiful, by the way. When she was in her late teens, her dad, Joseph, was like, we're going to send her to a nunnery because of these violent episodes. JFK, he was doing well in politics. He was trying to go for the presidency. And Joseph was really worried that Rosemary was going to embarrass the family with these outbursts. She would also drink a lot. She would smoke a lot. She was like a sexual person out there doing what she wanted to do. All things that are like relatively fine now, you know, within like reason. People are usually not judgmental about those things anymore, but at the time it was a big problem. She goes to this convent and the nuns start contacting Joseph and they're like, yo, Rosemary's been sneaking out at nighttime. We suspect that she's sneaking out into the woods and she's having relations, and we're just worried that she's going to get some sort of STD or STI or, God forbid, get pregnant. Joseph's like fed up at this point.
Oh my God.
If you're Joseph, what are you doing?
2 weeks in your room, young lady.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's like a complex situation, right?
Have to talk to
at a certain
therapy.
Yeah, like at a certain point, she's not like a full child anymore.
Yeah.
She's late teens, early 20s doing this. But it's also like you're supposed to have some semblance of guidance in your kids' lives. So it's hard to navigate something like that without being an oppressive force, I guess.
Yeah.
He starts talking to medical professionals. At this time, and I don't know if the diagnostic criteria has changed, by the way, but at this time, Rosemary was diagnosed with being manic depressive, which can sometimes look similar to bipolar disorder in terms of the episodes. Some people have also retrospectively tried to diagnose her with BPD, which also has a few other characteristics that are similar. Either way, Rosemary was clearly dealing with something. After consulting medical professionals for a while, Joseph is given advice that there is a procedure that can be done to help Rosemary.
Really?
A neurological surgery where they can go in and they can get rid of her episodes altogether.
Sounds almost too good to be true.
If someone told you that, what would you do?
So you're telling me it's all good stuff, no bad stuff, right?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
That's pretty much how Joseph reacts. It's unclear how many of the negative side effects were made super known to Joseph, because these specific doctors, they did have like a lot of drama and controversy around them before this.
This was a final nail in the coffin.
Yes. Beyond that, I personally think that Joseph did know all the negative side effects, and he did it anyway.
He just did that to his daughter?
I do. You know why? He didn't tell his wife that he was having Rosemary get neurosurgery. He didn't consult her. He didn't tell her. He didn't tell her he was looking into it. He didn't tell her he did it or booked it or anything.
So she just found out?
Yeah. Rosemary's 23 at this time.
Tough sell.
You know?
Tough sell.
Just seems like if you really thought you were doing something to help your daughter who's been having a hard time for decades, you would tell your wife. It's not like they were divorced or something.
There's no way you could manipulate your way out of that.
Yeah.
Like, no amount of, like, toxic or positive. Yeah, that's bad. That's bad. That's bad. Not great.
Even if you get neurosurgery and nothing goes wrong, which obviously, you know, we're building it up, something's going to happen. You have to, it would be weird not to notify your spouse that you've, like, looked for doctors, found them, made an appointment, consulted your daughter about it, who was like, okay, allegedly, let's go forward with this. It would be weird to do all of that and not even once inform your wife at any part in the process of
I don't touch your fish.
neurosurgery.
I don't touch your fish tank without being like, hey, there's something going on in here.
I know.
What should I do?
It's your brain. It's so physically intimate.
Yeah, no, that's a pretty nutty thing to do.
Yeah.
Just off, you know. She'll forgive me. She'll understand.
Even if it's like a minor surgery, it just seems weird not to tell your spouse, like, hey, our kid's getting surgery.
Right.
You know? The surgery was a lobotomy.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Yeah. For those of you who don't know directly what a lobotomy is, maybe you've heard the term. It's where they take these giant medical needles. They're not thin. They're like, they're more like a knitting needle. Think of it like that.
Big needle.
And they stab you in the eye, and they just kind of whisk your brain a little bit. That's like the best way I can describe it. It's actually pretty accurate, honestly. They whisk your brain a little bit, and it scrambles. That part of your brain is rendered useless. People who get lobotomies are put into an intentional vegetative state.
Mm-hmm.
So once Rosemary was lobotomized, she could never speak again.
Yeah.
She was unable to talk, and she was unable to take care of herself. It's not like it just made her mute. She couldn't do anything. She needed lifelong care. So her mom one day had like a daughter who was normal, albeit suffering some mental health issues. And then suddenly Joseph's like, oh, yeah, Rosemary's fine. I fixed it. And she's a vegetable.
I feel like household tensions would be a little frigid for a while.
I feel like I would lobotomize Joseph. You know, like with my knitting needles.
It's such a crazy procedure just to sign up.
Rosemary can't even like articulate to anyone around her what happened. So she can't even tell her side of like, maybe she wasn't even down with this. Like Joseph said she agreed to it, but who knows how true that is.
I highly doubt she did.
I think if she did, it was definitely like she didn't understand what she was agreeing to.
Yeah, but
like she didn't know what a lobotomy was. She just thought that they were fixing her episodes.
I wouldn't trust
Joseph?
a medical professional to scramble my brain.
Well, I doubt they
anything.
told her what they do. I think they probably just were like, this will fix your episodes. You won't be depressed anymore.
What is? And I'd be like, what is it? And they'd be like, we're just gonna do a procedure. We're gonna do a procedure. Oh, what's the procedure? What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
Be like, that's silly woman. Be like, no then. If you're not gonna tell me, there's no way. Yeah, they definitely like nabbed her in the middle of the night and just.
Yeah, it's a really sad situation, but more than that,
Tough.
At this same time, like I said, JFK, he's running for president, and he obviously wins the presidency. So the public notices, like, what's up with Rosemary?
Mm-hmm.
You know? How would you play that off?
As the dad?
As the whole family.
I don't even know. I feel like I would be totally blindsided if I was the mom. I'd be like, oh my God, I'd be so mad.
Never forgive
so mad.
Joseph.
No, never. Nah. Never. Would never forgive that dude. Mm-mm.
Destroyed her.
Yeah. Damn.
But
what did the wife do?
What do you do from a PR standpoint?
I honestly don't. You could say like she got in an accident or something.
Yeah, that would make more sense, right? Because it's like a very sudden, massive shift in demeanor.
Yeah, she'd be like, oh, they got in a car accident and now she's...
Yeah, they didn't do that.
What did they do? What did they do? What did they do? Don't tell me they did something dumb.
They did do something dumb.
What did
And it
they
worked
do?
weirdly well, though. They played it off like Rosemary had always been like that.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Nah, dude. That's great. How did they do that?
Basically, they pointed to the fact that she had developmental delays as a toddler.
And now she can't talk anymore?
Yeah, they basically just said, like, you know, she's been getting worse over time. She's always been mentally disabled, and this is just what that looks like at this stage in her life. Yeah. That's like anybody who has any sort of developmental delay or is on the spectrum or neurodivergent, that's like the nightmare. That someone does something like that to you and then uses the way that your brain is set up to pass it off.
Nightmare.
Yeah.
Nightmare.
Rosemary would go on to live like a decently long life, and her mom would take care of her, and that was pretty much the
They got
end of
divorced?
Rosemary. No.
They stayed together.
Yeah. People didn't divorce back then.
It's like a soap opera.
I know. What? All right. The first thing that comes up when you look up like Rose Kennedy, Joseph Kennedy divorce is not that they got divorced. And like they had so many kids, by the way. They had 9 kids. But they stayed married the whole time. And I don't see any evidence of a separation. But what's really truly crazy to me is that instead of the first thing coming up being, why did Rose tolerate Joseph after the lobotomy? The first thing that comes up is, why did Rose Kennedy tolerate Joe Kennedy's extramarital dalliances? I don't care at that point.
Rose.
I don't care what you do, Joe. I don't care about you.
They had to have separated.
I knew it.
They separated.
I was right. Listen.
They didn't separate?
Rose was a devout Catholic. She did not believe in divorce. And the Kennedys were the most prominent Catholic family of their time, because remember, that used to be less popular. So they had to set an example.
Damn.
At least they felt like they had to. But I would have strangled Joe in his sleep.
All fair.
You know?
If not
on the
easy.
netting needles. Like, that's what I would really want to do, but I feel like I wouldn't get away with that.
That's crazy.
It's too obvious.
It's a crazy procedure to even visualize having done to you.
I know, it's really terrible.
Like, I couldn't even fathom what that would feel like.
Every single time I think of the Kennedys, that's like...
you're supposed to not feel what's in your head. Like, if they, like, because there's no nerves in there, in your brain.
But your eyes have nerves.
So, you would
and they go in through your tear ducts.
So you just wouldn't, oh.
It would be uncomfortable.
Oh, the pressure.
Yeah.
Oh, and then just feeling yourself that's different now.
Yeah.
I hope that like they got rid of whatever memory was before. Because if she could remember what she was like before, that would be a living hell.
Yeah. Do you remember in the old Planet of the Apes movies? Do you remember those?
Yeah, when he wakes up and he's like, "Damn you, dirty apes!"
Yeah, like remember he has one of his other teammates who gets captured and like talks because he can't talk because his throat gets injured.
But that was the girl.
No, the girl can't talk because none of the indigenous humans on Earth in that world can speak. But the ones who come from the past in the cryotanks, how the movie starts out.
Yeah.
The captain of the ship, he gets his throat hurt somehow.
He speaks.
Yeah, but he can't speak for a long time. He can't speak for most of the movie. And so that's why the female scientist is studying him so intently, because she's like, he's different, he's smart, but he can't talk. So he's just trying to sign things out to her and like communicate. And she's like, he's attempting to communicate. Oh my God. I didn't know humans could do that. And it's like fun, like turning it on his head.
Yeah.
But he has another shipmate who survives the travel. But he can talk because his throat's not damaged. So, like, really, he could only not talk because his throat was, like, swollen. So, like, he's able to talk again later. But his shipmate, when he gets captured by the apes, he's immediately talking like, what are you guys doing? I'm from the past. You can't do this. And he sees his shipmate, like, the main character, in the little village area. And he, like, starts, like, making noise to try and get his attention. And when he turns towards him, he sees that, like, the side of his head's been cut open. And they had been lobotomizing all humans who had the ability to speak. And so he is, like, horrified. And then at that point, his throat's getting better. He knows, like, not to talk in front of them. You know? I always think, like, that was my first introduction to the concept of that you could do that.
I don't like it.
Yeah, that was, like, the way I learned you could do that to someone. I watched that movie when I was, like, 7 because I couldn't sleep and my parents were watching it.
I feel like the scope of, like, what you feared as a kid was, like, it went from, like, such unrealistic things.
Like quicksand?
Quicksand.
Yeah. Yeah, and then imagine you're me and you learn about lobotomies at, like, 7 and you're like, what?
Yeah, it's like, geez. You're still somewhat afraid of the dark, and then you're like, well,
the dark
now
could benefit me, actually.
Now I'm afraid of people mixing my brain.
I could hide in the dark from the brain mixers. Childhood trauma for me. But yeah, every time I think of the Kennedys, I know a lot of people have other associations for them. But for me, Rosemary Kennedy is...
So is that the story?
She's the zenith of my Kennedy association, yes.
Nice.
Not nice.
I mean, it's a nice story. You did a great job.
Not a nice story.
You did a great job.
Cancel this man!
No, I know. It's a terrible. I condemn.
I condemn the Kennedys. Let it be known.
This just in. Kylan Granson stands.
Kylan Granson stands the Kennedys. Co-signs them daily.
Oh, what? No, that's crazy. That's a crazy
crazy thing to do to someone in your family, no less. It's crazy to do it to anyone. Honestly, it's crazy to do that to your enemy. But to do that to your child, it's disgusting.
What? You could have just left me in my sea of blissful ignorance.
Never.
But instead you drag me out onto dry reason.
Depression desert. It's hard knowing things. The truth! But no, it's a terrible thing. Don't let it slide. Also, there's a Kennedy running again.
Really?
This year. Bold move.
I don't...
You're like, well, I'm not voting for him. He's lost my vote. You're like... Babe, you don't know what he's running on. Don't care.
I have no idea.
Don't care.
Yeah. We're getting it back in blood for Rosemary.
Yeah. Rosemary and Rose.
Well, Rose sounds like she was okay with it.
Rose was a bit of an enabler, but probably heartbroken. Rose didn't do enough.
She did stay with him.
She did not react.
She didn't kill
enough.
him.
And that's the real tragedy.
That's honestly...
That's the real tragedy here. Thank you guys so much for watching our video.
But yeah, anyway.
Thank you guys so much for watching.
No, go ahead. Go on,
Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We'll see you next Monday with another mukbang and hopefully a less depressing subject. Those spooky Saturdays will be dark.
I doubt it.
I'm really dark and twisted.
What was it, week 1? Week 1, it was, you did ancient Rome, and you did, like, Nero, like,
and
castrating a child and keeping it as his wife.
Perhaps I did that subject, yes. There was also talk of a fun chicken story.
Yeah.
Focus on that.
And then last week, there was, the Nazis. And Attack on Titan, which was like
all right,
a genocide.
History isn't fun always.
And then we had an unfortunate lobotomy. We're still kind of gray on the consent
Yes.
So
I'm actually just very edgy. I'm an edgy guy.
I'm actually really dark and twisted. Yeah, really dark thoughts.
But anyway, thank you guys so much for tuning in to our Mukbang Monday. And we will see you next Monday with another mukbang.
Do I have to plug my social medias?
Yes, you have to say thank you and then... My God. You have to say thank you. And plug them!
You've been looking at me.
It was on the other side of your head. I have no idea how long. It might have been there the whole time.
Thanks for having me. This was great. I always enjoy getting to have my Mukbang Mondays with you. My socials are as follows. My TikTok is thekcg83, and my Instagram is k_Granson18. So yeah, give me a follow if you want to follow me, I guess.
Very nice. And my TikTok main is at Daisy Foko. I have a lifestyle TikTok. It's mainly me and Kylan doing stuff. It's Daily Foko.
Daily.
The Daily on Foko. So clever. And then I have my Instagram, which is just Days Foko, DAIS. Thank you guys so much for watching. See you next Monday. Bye.